Program, I'm very sorry to announce that one of our past presidents, Mr. M.S. Kumar, maybe some of you know him, and he's a very passionate person, done some phenomenal work for MMA, and he died 2 days back in USA. So I thought, as a mark of respect to the departed soul, may I request you all to thank you, sir, appreciate your support. Thank you so much, and thank you. Appreciate your understanding and support. Distinguished speakers have already arrived. Before I call them and brief them, let me briefly tell you what's happening in MMA. And before that, let me also warmly welcome all the viewers watching this program live from various channels, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, including webinar, and wish you a very, very happy Diwali to you. We wish you again tomorrow. If you are registered and your registration is confirmed, please do drop in at IIT Research Park Auditorium for one of the finest grand award function of MMA. It's happening tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock at IIT Research Park Auditorium. You know, this is the thing where we recognize the three great innovators. And the three great innovators have been selected out of a couple of hundreds of people who are applied from all over India. So do come and watch the great innovation, and you will be so proud to see them, how well the people from different locations of India doing so well. So I also want to share with you, tomorrow at the award function, we have Mr. Alok Sriram. He's the MD of DCM Sriram company. He's the chief guest, and he's going to be talking to us on innovation. That's happening tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, 26th, again, not to be missed event. You must come and attend this event. This is a discussion on the theme, the man who would not be a king. This is all about VP Raman. VP Raman is a former Advocate General, one of the finest advocates of Tamil Nadu. His son, Raman, has written a book about his father, success, how to be done, and we got a very outstanding panel. P.S. Raman is very one of the finest advocates of Tamil Nadu and former Advocate General, and he's also a member of the managing committee. We got a very good panel along with Mr. Raman, Mr. Sriram Panchu, senior advocate, Madras High Court. I know how many of you read this article in Hindu about a week back. Brilliant author, brilliant thinker. Then we have Ramesh Krishnan. How many of you watched him in action, playing in Wimbledon, giving tough time to some of the best players in the world. Then we also have Mohan Raman. I know how many of you have watched him in television, television actor Mohan Raman. So we got a very good panel. We'll be interacting with P.S. Raman, and you will learn quite a bit of anecdotes from these people and what makes you a very, very successful, and how you make simple things. I listened to this. I read this book and I also listened to him earlier. So I know if you're free on the 26th evening, not to be missed, do come. It's also webcast live. Do watch it on live. And all our lawyer friends, do come, and we'll have an opportunity to meet some of the best legal minds in the state of Tamil Nadu. Then on 27th October, another interesting topic. Does GDP growth reflect the real state of economy? Yes, it got a very, very different point of view. But we have got experts who are going to be sharing with you. Dr. Sreenivasan is the Chief Policy Advisor, E&Y, is joining us from New Delhi. We also have Venkatesh Atreya, he is author and former professor of Bharatdas University. Then we got K.T. Jagannathan, he is again a journalist and consultant who is authority economist. And Satyamurthy will also be joining us from People Matter. Then on the 2nd of November, I am going to tell you 2-3 events only, then we'll move on. We have got an event on India 2047, Amazing Rise of a Modern Nation. Again, we have got an outstanding panel, and the chief guest is Justice Anita Sumant, Justice of Madras High Court, Dr. Lakshmi Narayanan, Akila Sreenivasan, Mr. Unikishnan, MD of St. Gobain, Raghubir Sreenivasan, editor of Business Line. Then we got Patabi and Buttambi, they are the panelists. So do come. This is happening on 2nd of November at MMA. Then on 8th of November, we have another interesting entrepreneur who has done phenomenal work. We call him Muthu Annachi. How many of you know? Most of you may be using this product which has been made by him. He is the founder of Idayam Nallennai, Idayam oil. So he is going to be coming here and talking to you. Please do come. It's happening on 8th of November. C.K. Kumare will be leading the conversation with him. Then on 15th of November, another interesting topic, and how gender equality benefits men. I think it's everybody should attend this. how gender equality benefits men. So you must come and watch this program. Anuradha Das Mathur, she is going to be talking to us from Delhi. And this is happening online. So you can watch it from your own comfort. But I know you will miss delicious snacks of MMA. But sometime you can tell your people to make some good snacks for you at home. And this online program. Then on the 17th of November, we have again an interesting event. Reversing Neighborhood First Policy, Subhash Chandran, this is happening, and this is again a good event, not to be missed event. Then 18th of November, we have an event, which is again, we are doing jointly with Andhra Chamber of Commerce. We know we do collaborate with everybody, and with Andhra Chamber, we are doing the 100th program on the 18th of November. So we commemorating the 100th joint lecture on changing leadership expectations. One of the finest speaker, at least I'll walk miles to listen to him. He's going to be talking to us. He's coming all the way from Mumbai. Mr. Shivkumar is a group executive president of AVTAR Birla Group. He's going to be talking to us. Do come. And all this, just make a note in diary. You're most welcome to come. Then we also have 22nd November, Mr. Dr. Ganguly, Ashok Ganguly, how many of you know him? He's a former chairman of HUL. He's going to be talking to us on another interesting subject. Then, as usual, 24th Thursday, we'll be having Read and Grow, another important book. Sangeeta Sumesh will be leading with Bhavani Asrani. And I think the book they are going to be discussed is Richer, Wiser, Happier, How the World's Greatest Investors Win in Markets and Life. Yes, with the way the present market trend, I think you must attend this event and you will know a lot of things and what do, what not to do. Coming to today's event, Read and Grow. Again, we firmly believe if you're to be a good leader, you have to be a good reader. And we want a lot of people to really listen to this and become a good reader. That's why we encourage more young people to come and take part in this event. And yes, slowly youngsters are coming. And that's the reason we joined with three like-minded professionals who are so cooperative and who are so much interested in bringing this month after we have been able to do that. And the book which we are going to discuss today is from Jack Canfield, The Success Principles, How to Get From Where You Are and to where you want to be. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hand together to welcome our distinguished panelists for this evening. We have Mr. Ramprasad, Mr. Ramprasad, Director CADD Center, who is actually driving this entire sessions for today. Umasanker, Kandaswamy and Deepak Shankar. May I request you please take your place on the dais. Come. Thank you, sir. And before I'll request Ramprasad to take it over, can I briefly introduce the distinguished speakers for this evening? Let me introduce Ramprasad. Ramprasad is the founder and enabler of Samarthya, and he is also a master MSc and graduate of BITS Pilani, and also a certified NLP practitioner. He started his career Associate Instruments Manufacturing Private Limited, New Delhi, and subsequently joined JK Tyres, and since 1989 with CADD Center. He grew to become the executive director of the company in a span of 15 years. During his tenure, CADD Center, he was instrumental in establishing CADD Center in New Delhi. Currently, he is the director of CADD Center, Asia Pacific, largest CADD training network with presence of in over 30 countries. Ramprasad was a vice chairman of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Tamil Nadu chapter, and is also a chamber which also promotes bilateral. Very warm welcome to Prasad, and you have been a great source of inspiration and support to us. We really appreciate it. Then we have my dear friend, another panelist, Umasanker Kandaswamy. Umasanker Kandaswamy is a co-founder, senior vice president, sales and relationship of AVTAR Group. You all know AVTAR Group is one of the finest thing, Soundarya. They are doing some phenomenal work in the area of Putri and so many things which empowering girls and women. Umasanker Kandaswamy holds a master's in public administration from University of Madras and electronic communication engineer, and has done his MDP from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. With over 25 years of experience in recruitment consulting, Umasanker is a very good headhunter. Yes, anybody want a job, please get after him. He finished more than 3,500 closures in his career. But anyway, when you are a headhunter, you are always headhunter. You can always take his help to guide you through how to get hunted. Currently, managing all India marketing and sales diversity equity, including consulting across the sector. Very warm welcome to you, Umasanker. It's always a pleasure to have you with this and listening to you, so inspiring. The other distinguished panelists for this evening, Deepak Shankar. Deepak Shankar is the founder and CEO of Mirabilie Designs. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Deepak Shankar is the founder of Mirabilie Designs, a San Francisco-based software company providing design tools for electronic. Shankar has traveled over 60 countries, and every place where he goes, every airport picks up a book. So very, very voracious reader. Done his MBA from University of California and MS from University of Clemson, the B from Coimbatore Institute of Technology. Deepak is a popular speaker and at industrial conferences and many forums, and he has also published over 100 articles and also maintains a regular blog on social entertainment, business trends, and much more. Gentlemen, you know, we have an outstanding panel this evening. We are all looking forward to a fascinating evening on the book which you are going to be discussing. Over to you, Ramprasad, take it forward. Once again, very, very warm welcome to each one of you, sir.
Thank you. Check. Thank you, Group Captain Vijay Kumar, for this wonderful introduction and the opportunity given to us. And good evening, all of you. Good to see you here this evening, just before Diwali. One of the reasons why I chose this book, Success Principles. Naturally, we all want to be successful, right? We all want to be successful? So, this book has been written to those who really want to be successful. And Jack Canfield, who's a famous author, speaker, motivator, has presented this book in such a simple and lucid way that anybody can read this and straight away apply these principles on their daily life and improve their life. So as individuals, as professionals, you can actually be successful provided you follow the principles he has presented in this book. So that's precisely what we are going to review this evening. What are these principles and how it is applicable to each one of us. So I have with me Deepak and Umasanker, who come from a very diverse background. Deepak helps organizations or countries defend their countries through his software. So he's in that space. And Umasanker enables students or any professionals to get their livelihood and career through his avatar, actually. That is his avatar, actually. So now, if you look at the book, it's very, very simple. The summary, if you really want to be successful, you have to take 100% responsibility for everything that you experience in your life. So there is no question of thinking that, okay, I am not responsible for what I am. Many people have this habit, especially when you're a student or anybody who's not able to achieve something, immediately blaming your circumstances and anything outside of you. When you start blaming or finding reason outside of you, it means that you're not 100% responsibility. You're not taking 100% responsibility. So those who actually have the habit of complaining or finding reasons other than you for what you are today, please understand that 100% responsibility is mandatory for you to be successful. That's the point he highlights to start with. And everything you think, say, and do needs to become intentional and aligned with your purpose, your values, and your goals. So if you want to be successful, you need to be clear about first what you want, and your purpose should be very, very well defined. So when we talk about purpose, I have done several workshops. So one of the questions I ask people is, you all know what you're doing, but do you know why you're doing what you're doing? We all know what we are doing, but do you actually know why you're doing what you're doing? So there is a lot of depth in this question, because when somebody asks you what you do it's very easy to say, I'm working as so-and-so in this company. I think that's a common answer that comes out, right? So typically, if I ask a manager of a company, a sales manager of a particular, say, even my own CADD center, you say, I'm working as a sales manager in this particular company. Very normal answer. But actually, what is the purpose? The purpose is we actually enable students realize their dreams through our world-class training. So what if a person answers, like, what are you doing? We actually enable students realize their dreams by providing world-class training. Now, that's our purpose. Now, how many of us really do that today? So purpose is very, very important. And you have control over only three things in your life. The thoughts you think, the images you visualize, and the actions you take. Any other thing is out of your control, right? So if you actually manage these three things effectively, you can achieve whatever you want. In fact, he says, I also recollect this statement from the book Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill, where he says, whatever the mind conceives and believes, it can achieve. Whatever mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So that's another point he is stressing. So complaining is an ineffective response to an event and does not produce a better income, so stop complaining. Learn to replace complaining with making requests and taking actions will achieve your desired outcomes. Instead of complaining and blaming the circumstances, if something is not happening to you, think what you can do differently to make it happen. I think that is another thing. So one of the easiest way to begin clarifying what you truly want is to make a list of 30 things you want to do and 30 things you want to be before you die. So if you do that, this is the best way to start knowing what you really want. Because most of the professionals who want to be successful, or most of the students who want to be successful, they actually don't know what they want. And they don't even attempt to know what they want. So the first step is to make sure that you make a list. It's not enough if you have it in your mind. You need to put it on paper and make a list so that you know exactly what you want. And that's the beginning of your success. When you actually know what you want, that is the starting point of your success. That's what he highlights. So you create a balanced and successful life. Your vision needs to include the following 7 areas: work and career, finances, recreation and free time, health and fitness, relationships, personal goals, and contribution to larger community. Now, these are all the areas. It's not like you can be successful only in your professional life and you can be a failure in the rest of the areas. It has to be in every area. Career, finance, professionalism, relationship, then your community, how you're going to serve your community. Okay? One of the greatest things about living in today's world of abundance and opportunities, almost everything you want to do has already been done by someone else. So there is no stopping you. So one good thing is, if you want to be successful, first you need to know what you want to do. And who is going to achieve that? You are going to achieve that. So you are setting your goal and you have to achieve it. So what can come in between? So that's what he is trying to dissect. So, and the world doesn't pay you for what you know. The world pays you for what you do. So it's not enough if you have the knowledge, you need to know how to execute properly. So these are some of the points which he has highlighted in the book, and there are many such points. So successful people do not give excuses. So if you look at any of the successful people, they never give excuses. They are very clear about what they want, and they are willing to work with passion, which means they like what they do. They normally do not avoid things. So these are all some of the common things he has shared in the book, and he has also given the step-by-step way, the methods to achieve those. And one other thing he talks about is your limiting beliefs. We all have our limiting beliefs, which means the beliefs which is stopping you from doing otherwise what you can do. So list down all those beliefs and see how you can overcome those beliefs. So he has given a clear way of limiting those, overcoming those limiting beliefs, overcoming your fears and doubts about yourselves. So these are all some of the barriers to success. In fact, for me, I've been in the last 6 years addressing people on 12 factors which affect your success. And now he has covered more than that. And if you read through the book, at the end of it, you will clearly know that you can achieve whatever you want if you really want. Right? With that, I'll conclude this summary of the book and get to their panelists to ask them. My first question to Deepak and Uma both, one after the other, is what are your key takeaways from this book?
So this book is actually quite interesting. I generally don't read self-help books because I think they're for like I don't want to use that word, but it's for people that have not evolved as yet. But this book is actually quite interesting. Look at it as this way. Why do we do an MBA? We do an MBA because, we want to acquire all this knowledge in a very short period of time, like a 1.5 years or 2 year period. Kind of like what he has done, Cranfield has done with the book. He's really, put all of those things together. And the thing that, MBA makes it interesting is we do a lot of projects, right? Similar to that, he's created a lot of worksheets, allows you to think, allows you to enter information so that you can really understand what is it that you really want. Because a lot of times you have no clue what you really want. I mean, but he has nice workshops. He's got this E plus O is equal to R. Like event plus outcome. I'm sorry, event plus whatever you do, your response. Gets your response, right? Your response gets your outcome. The thing is, most times you don't even know an event occurred. That's the first thing. And when you don't know the event occurred, you're not going to be able to respond to it. So some of the things that he brings out, I think are very valuable, like simple things, like plan your day the previous night, not on the same morning. That's actually a really good thing. When I think back on some of the stuff that I've learned from personal experience, right, is that the planning really, really helps out. And how does it help out? It helps out in a lot of ways. When you do your planning, you start thinking about what are the things that will happen. What are the things that are going to happen, in the future? So based on that, I can really, respond to those scenarios, right? So I understand, what would be the different branches I would have to take. So if the customer says this, I should respond here. If the customer says this, I should respond. The book gives you all of those worksheets to enable you to do it. And there's quite a few examples in my life itself where I've actually benefited from this. And I'll talk about it a little bit later.
Okay, so.
Thank you. Thanks, Ram, for the opportunity. So my takeaways from the book is very simple. I mean, this book is very, very simple. It's very basic. I'm sure everybody would know there's nothing new. But as Deepak said, there is a way in which you need to apply. There is a formula. I slightly differ from what Ram said. We are all successful. If you are successful, no. We are all successful. That's why we are all sitting here. E plus R is equal to O. That's the formula that he talks about. Jack talks about, right? I'll take an example, the live example. Today is an event that you chose to respond. And you're shown up here. You're all here. For the event, the response is you're all here. What is the outcome? You will not know, but you are here. That's the first success step that you've already taken. The outcome, maybe you will take some, you will have some friends, or you may take some good opportunity from all of us, the combined knowledge that you're going to be taking out from the experience that we are going to be sharing. This is a simple formula that you can use it for anything and everything. You just go back and think in any of your life. I could see that some of the, college graduates, I am just assuming. So, why are you here? You want to know what is success? We are all craving for success. First, believe that we are all successful. How to sustain success? If you ask any successful person, there is no one formula. Success is a continuous process, according to me. You need to work on it again and again. Follow some of the successful people and what they have done for themselves. It's consistency. It's all about consistency and deriving an amazing formula which will really help you grow. So, I'm not going to be repeating what Jack already said. Because according to my moderator, I should only talk about my experience and correlate with the book. So I'll stop here and I will hand over to Ram again.
Okay, thank you for that. So we are all successful, and success is a continuous process. So we were talking about taking 100% responsibility. So we all believe that we are responsible. Of course, we are responsible. Because of the responsibility, you're taking your actions. But question is, are we 100% responsible? Okay, I'll tell you a small story which I recall. It's by Dr. Wayne Dyer, I've heard it, and it's very relevant. It almost highlights how we behave when it comes to 100% responsibility. So there is a gentleman who is leaving his home almost in the late evening. It's already dark outside, and he's about to leave. And suddenly the power goes off, and it's pre-internet days, no light, no mobile, nothing. So it's pitch dark inside the house, and he takes a step and drops his keys. Because the key fell down, it's pitch dark, he's not able to see where the key is. He's looking around for 1 or 2 minutes, and he couldn't see anything. But through a window, at a distance, there is a street light which is on. So he straight walks outside under the street light, start searching for his keys. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Obviously, he can't find his keys, so the neighbor is watching him. So he wants to help. So he comes along. He also searches for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then, he asked the first person, "Hey, I've been watching you searching for something. Can you tell me what you're searching for?" He says, "I'm searching for my keys." Then he says, "I'm also searching with you, but I couldn't find anything. Do you recall where you left it, dropped it?" Typical question. He said, "At home." Now, we laugh, right? So you leave the keys at home and search where the light is. Why are you searching here? Because there is light here. It's convenient, right? So it's akin to saying, if I have a problem, which is the key, I don't look inside. I simply look outside because it's convenient for me. There is light outside. So that's what this story conveys. So if you are 100% responsible, don't look outside of yourself. Please look inside. The key is always in. So this is the story I want to share, which clearly highlights what it means to be 100% responsible, right? So now, this highly resonated with me, this story and the principle. So I want you to share with me, among all these principles you have shared, what really resonates with you and how you were able to apply it in your day-to-day life. So, okay, let's start with Uma.
So there's a lot of things which resonates from the book. One of them is more of persistent. And also the purpose. So these are the two pieces that I would like to talk on. First, everybody has a purpose in this entire world. Are we spending enough time on what I really want? Or we are just, my dad told me to take a particular engineering or doctor, whatever. I'm just following my dad. But your inner mind, have you ever asked, what is the purpose of me doing a doctor or engineer or a IT, whatever, whatever that you are thinking of. So let's have a clear do we have a goal? Do we have the purpose? Why we are even living? So that is something that everybody needs to put down and work towards it. Because without purpose, nothing at all. If you're going to start and if you're heading towards to come into MMA today, you would have had a plan how you are going to be reaching here. Because the purpose is very clear. You want to come and watch this particular program. And you've taken a particular logistics in being here. There is a plan which is already there. This is applicable to all what we do. It's very simple. As I told you, this book is an amazing, simple book, but you can derive a lot. Always start comparing it with your own lifestyle. I'll just give you an example about Jack. He has written a book called The Chicken Soups for the Souls, right?
Chicken soup for the soul. Vegetarians may not like it.
He approached, can you believe, he approached 144 publishers. 144 publishers. What kind of a persistent guy Jack was. And it's making amazing numbers of copies and it's a bestseller. And he's making tons and tons of money. What is the one thing about him? He felt that, yes, it is my conviction, even if you reject, I will not take a reject as an answer for me. He was taking another route and is still going ahead. This is something that resonated with me. We started AVTAR way back in 2000. It's about 22 years that we've been running this organization, right? Our one aim, when we started off with recruitment. When we got into the market, we saw there are so many people around, and we said, how can we be different? So that's when we said we should take up talent which is niche and we need to empower them. Then we said women who are actually taking a break in their career. It is for social responsibility that women take a break, but when they come back, they're not being treated well. If a male colleague is male colleague and a female are joining, and if a female were to take a break, after she takes a break after her maternity, but the male colleague is still going up, whereas she has taken a break for at least 1 year, let's assume. But when she comes back, she's not able to compete with the male colleague. So we took that as a challenge, and we said, let's go into the market and say, hey, there is an amazing talent, would you like to hire them? I'm talking about 2 decades back. Most of the decision makers said, Umasanker, fantastic, you have a social enterprise outlook, and there's an amazing talent, they can join and everything, but why would I hire them? You are talking something on air. This is not for India. I'm talking about 2 decades back. But have we left that ambition of taking sure this particular cohort are going to change the entire world? Still, we come back with empty hand. First, after about 5 to 6 years, there's one company who said, let's try. And that was one of the companies that you all know, Thomson Reuters. They had just 1 woman from us, just 1 woman. That was the first, and after what? Nearly 5 to 6 years of struggle, literal struggle, without any outcome. And this has been, and immediately after that, we were able to pitch upon a large multinational bank. And they said, do you think it will make sense for us to really take this and let's try it out? You're talking so much about women, and we have about 125-seater. Do you think you can do it? We said, yes, we'll do it. We took it as a challenge. The entire team worked on it. We placed 250 women. First time women who are, thank you, coming out of their maternity and coming back into work. Do you know what we did? We said, you have 125-seater, we'll give you 250 people. They can work only half a day. So pay them only half a salary. They're happy with it. They don't even get because back then it was only 1.2 lakhs and they've been given half of it. And it was win-win for both of them because this particular company, Standard Chartered, it's on paper, so you can just go and refer. Standard Chartered, they came back and said, it's a win-win for us. We are doing a social impact for women who never, ever got a job, And with my budget, we were able to do something. So it's an innovation that we have done. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, do you know how many second career women through AVTAR have got back into the career, into the corporate world? It's 100,000 women. For the first initial 5 years, if we would have felt as a team, this is not going to take off, then we have done a major mistake in our life of not giving opportunity for the 100,000 women. Now, we can say, wow, it is success that you guys have done it. But what next? Now, for the next 5 years, we have kept a target for ourselves to bring in 5 times of what we've done now, which is 5 lakh women to come in the next 5 years. That's the goal. That's the goal that as a team we felt we should do it. But how are we going to make sure this is going to happen? Currently, we also felt there are we are impacting with about more than 2,000 organizations across India. Now we want to impact 1 lakh organizations in the next 5 years. I know it's a very, very audacious goal, I may call, but the purpose is simply, it's pretty large. The way we think, it's all pretty large. Very simply to put, there are about 1.5 million women have taken a break in career. Simple math. Give them at least 20,000 a salary to all these women today. In the next 1 month, India will become the superpower. I'm not joking. Please do the math. This is possible. So our vision is to make sure in India we have 50-50 gender balance. And every woman should be treated
Was impacting community. See, it's not only persistence, though he resonated with persistence, it's actually a very strong desire he had to help women and a very noble purpose behind, which not only made him achieve, now he has set a higher target for himself. All the best to Uma. I think it'll help our country for sure. Now, that was fantastic example you shared with us. Deepak, what's your take on?
So this is something that's might sound a little funny, but this is a story I heard some time ago, and I felt that this book really resonated with this person. So how many of you have seen the movie Karnan? Not the one from last year, but the one from like many, many years ago, right? A lot of you have seen it, right? So it was Shivaji was Karnan in that movie. Sirgai Gopalakrishnan was the singer, and there was B.R. Pantal who was the director. So there's the last scene of the movie where it's a song, right? And Karnan is, he's been wounded with all the arrows because all of his shields and everything have been taken away. Krishna gets down from the chariot, and it's N.T. Ramarao's Krishna, so we're not talking small. Everything is big here. Everything is high profile. Walks down the thing, right? So now, this is Shivaji Ganeshan. What is he known for? Acting. He has to give 100% at every time, right? But now you're at the situation where you're like wounded. You can't do anything, right? So but he still wants to offer something to the audience. So he says, while the song is going, the director said, just lie down. But but he's got this thing of, I can't just lie down. People are expecting me to act, right? So he says, what I'll do is I'll just be walking like this. I'll be getting up and I'll be like going like this. I'll be doing this while the song is going on. And B.R. Pantalu goes, no, you'll be totally injured. It's just a matter of minutes before you're going to die. The movie has to end with you dying. It's not like, you're still alive. He says, so I can't walk around. Then let me do this. Let me give a speech, right? But he says, you're in no position to give a speech, right? So he goes, I can't give a speech either. But he asks, am I still breathing? He says, yeah. I can make breathing sounds. So, believe it or not, if you go back and watch that last song, you will actually listen to his breathing between the words of the music, between the words of the song. You actually will hear his breathing. So that was kind of the ambition. That was the thing, the customer focused that Shivaji Ganeshan had that made him so successful. And that really resonated when I saw this, when I read this book. That was the story that first came to mind. And when I look at our business, right, we don't impact lakhs of people. We're a much smaller, focused business. I mean, we typically work with things that blow up, and we, as you were saying, protect your borders. That's really where we're involved. When we started the company, we were fairly small. It was just 3 of us sitting around our dining table, starting to work. And we were like thinking, okay, we have to be innovative. We don't want to be a services company. We want to be a product company. But at that point, US was heading into a recession. So there was really, nobody wanted to buy a product from an unknown company. It's a big company, they would. So we were getting a lot of consulting engagements, very lucrative getting it. But we said, we wanted to be focused. We had a goal, create a product company. We wanted to be focused. And we said, no, we're not going to take these engagements. Finally, and we were a US company, by the way, and at that point in time, India and US were not the most favored nations. But we actually got a call from Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in Trivandrum. They wanted to do an analysis of the Chandravine, the first one. Right? They wanted to see what is the likelihood that that rocket was going to fail, or is it even going to be able to get there? We had built a tool for that, so they wanted that. And so now, because we waited all the time, we actually ended up getting to be a pure product company. Now, once we did that, used that success, and we started getting all the other ones that we got. So we got the the Mars rover, we got like the F-16 flights, we got a whole bunch of other stuff. But that first initial thing of being focused and saying, this is our goal, we're only going to be a product company, as he said, with social, we want to impact women that have left the the job market, right? We had that same focus, and we believe that after 15 years of where we are, being successful is primarily because we had that focus back at that time. Now you have to consider this: we're living in an extremely high-priced neighborhood in San Francisco, so we're no jobs. So which means we're paying these massive mortgage bills, we're paying these massive travel bills, we're paying massive everything, but we still stuck on. And I think, from when I look at that from our, generations, that's what has evolved to success. It's not, having the money or, like having an opportunity. It's about going and trying to grab an opportunity that didn't exist. So that was my story from that.
Okay, that was lovely, Deepak. In fact, though he was very humble in admitting that he's not impacting much, actually he's protecting countries through his software. So that's millions of people. So you can imagine, like, he's working with Chandra and F-16, and these are all having bigger impacts on people. So one other thing which comes to my mind as Uma was explaining, like, he had a strong desire to place women, right, for the last 20 years. Similarly, when I started my career with the CADD Center, again, like, we started in a small way. Today we have about 700 centers, 28 countries. Every 3 minutes a CADD trained engineer is coming out of a center. That is today's scenario. But at that time, when we had only 2 branches, like Chennai and then Bangalore, I joined them in Bangalore, and I was just 3 months into the job, and probably 23 years old at the time. And since I was in BITS Pilani and I lived in Delhi, I was pushing my management, my boss, current boss, who is the current chairman of the company, that we should open a branch in Delhi. We should be a national company, not a Madrasi company. So I said, we will go there. And I was pushing him almost every day. But unfortunately, at that time, it was not a capital-intensive firm. The management clearly said, whatever you want, you need to earn from your students and then replow if you want to growth. So already these 2 branches were only making about 7 lakhs per annum. Very, very meager 7 lakhs. We were not able to meet ends. At that time, I was pushing him, saying, we should be there in Delhi. We should be there in Delhi. He didn't want to discourage me because my desire was very strong. Every day morning when I see him, sir, can we go to Delhi? He said, please do something here. I said, no, now this will go on. We should be in Delhi. We should be a national company. So he wanted to put an end to it. So he said, okay, I'll on one condition we can go to Delhi. The first month you go to Delhi, if you bill 1 lakh, at that time the entire company was doing only 7 lakhs, both the branches put together. If you do 1 lakh, we'll continue. So he was very confident that it won't happen because, can it happen technically? Yes, because at the time we were charging 2,000 per student. So we can train 12 to 13 students every week. So 25,000 per week into 4, 1 lakh. Technically it's possible. Practically, I'm not sure. And especially when you're new to a particular place, even to establish yourself, it's going to take time. So he said, if you're able to do 1 lakh, in the month of November, it was October 1990, I still remember the thing, then we can continue in Delhi. We will just give the same money, you continue with that. That was the condition. So I said, from that time onwards, I started visualizing our Delhi branch. As though, we are already there operating and doing the thing. And every day I used to say, somehow I need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. I was self-talking, imagining how we are going to do. Exactly 25 days later, it was on October 1st, October 25th, I get a call from Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited in Delhi, saying we want to train about 13 engineers at our office in Delhi. Can you send some engineer? We want to train about 13 people. So our quotation was 26,000. So even before I went to Delhi, we got our first order. So 26,000. So I said, wow, this is amazing. So I got it. And November 5th was the day I landed in Delhi, and I went by Tamil Nadu Express or something, 2 days. So November 3rd I started. The day I landed, it was Mandal Commission, lockout. Somehow I managed my way to the house. On 7th, I had very limited time. So I have to do another 74,000 to meet my target. So which company can give me that opportunity was my thought. And this company, Engineers India Limited, came to my mind because they're all engineers creating big refineries. So I went to their office. I was in the first floor of their office. I had to meet one person who was responsible for CADD, and it was all half cabins. So I was sitting outside the cabin, and I heard a dialogue inside. 2 people are talking. The first person says, we have completed all our supplies. Please sign our acceptance. We have supplied the hardware and software what you needed. Please sign the acceptance. The second person said, yes, you have supplied, but you need to complete the training. Then the first person again says, training will complete it before the installation. Please sign the acceptance. Then the second person says, yes, it is very clearly written in the contract that only after the training is completed, we will be able to release the payment. And the first person again said, if it was ordinary training, we would have done immediately. This is CADD training. And I was with CADD Center, and I was sitting outside. I couldn't resist myself. I walked into the cabin. I'm sorry, gentlemen, I overheard your dialogue. I'm from CADD Center. You're talking about CADD training. So he said, Lo, Ajao, come and sit here. So I sat next to that person and discovered that that person, first person was from HCL, and he was a senior in my college. And guess what happened? Within the next half an hour, he takes out a letterhead from his suitcase, writes down an order for training about 28 people on CADD starting from November 19th, same month. So 28 into 2, 56,000. I got an order for 56,000. So I was acting pricey because I know he was desperate. So I said, we don't operate without advance. So same evening, he gave the advance also. So I got 56,000 already. 26,000, 82,000 was in my kitty on 7th of November. 2 days later, I went to one other company called Mass India, where we were expecting they had sent on trainee 1 year ago to our center in Chennai. So I was exploring whether there is any possibility. They said, we don't have a need for training, but we want the software. Can you supply the software? I know who supplies software. HCL had just supplied to VAL. So I said, I will manage everything. Only thing we were not allowed to sell software at that time, so I took a special permission, and software was costing 25,000. So I got the order, finished the supply. So I met this 1,07,000, and that's how we started our Delhi branch. So it may be a very simple example, but let me share with you what you really, really passionately want to happen, it will happen. So that's what he is. One of the principles is, please start visualizing what you want to be already. So don't keep it as a wish. Believe in it. You believe in that what is going to happen. Like Uma said, universe will work for you. So I never knew that there is a 56,000 order waiting for me. But I went there. And who directed me? Right? So that's the thing. So my next question to you is, these principles are likely to be time-proven, right? It's a time-proven thing. So do you really think these are relevant even today? With so many digital changes happening, lot of changes happening today, even today, is it relevant?
Simply it is. Even after 2000 years, it will be. See, if you look at every... These are, as I said initially, it is basic. When you talk about agility, when you talk about courage, you want to be positive. One thing that you mentioned earlier, do not get succumbed to any of the negative emotions or negative people. Let me put it very straight, bluntly. Be positive wherever you are. If you are not able to change the situation, please remove yourself from that. That is in your control. Control the controllable. Something which you cannot control, just forget it. But yes, coming back to your point, yes, it is even after how many years, these basic principles will stay forever.
Okay, thank you. And what about you, Deepak? Do you think so?
Yes and no. Because I think you're absolutely correct, right? For 2,000 years, the same principles. But there's always caveats. There's always things that have changed and evolved, right? Some of the basic things that you had to do, like, he had to go to Delhi to close the deal. Today, I have enough telecommunication that I can do everything from Chennai. I don't have to go to Delhi at all. So there are those kind of caveats. But I still go back when I look at the book. One of the things that really stands out is the planning is generic enough that you could incorporate those caveats in there. So, like, for example, a couple of things I was thinking about was, back in, he said 1990, right? In 1990, you could get away by not having an engineering degree and still end up doing a lot of work, either being a diploma holder or, doing a course at CADD Center or things like that. But today, I think it's without the engineering degree, your base minimum has not been qualified. You haven't achieved it. Matter of fact, some of the jobs, even a master's degree is required to be able to achieve that. But I think the worksheets that he has included in that do include or provide scope for incorporating some of those kind of things, right? So it's that part is one thing. The second part is, the book is pretty large. It's 463 pages. Apart from all the acknowledgements and introductions and all that, so it comes to about 550 pages or so. The thing is, a lot of the stuff that he wants you to do manually, you can get done very quickly today, because we have planning tools, we have decision tools, we have goal tools, we have tools for tools, we have all kinds of stuff today, right? So I think a lot of that stuff could be overcome just by going in, even free tools. You don't even have to spend like money. Free tools that enable you to do these kind of things. So I would say take the ideas, incorporate your specific caveats. Like some of the caveats that he tends to ignore is like financial caveats, restriction caveats. Like, for example, if you don't have money to buy the chicken soup, right? If you don't have the money to buy chicken soup, it doesn't matter that you're going to become a top-notch engineer or you're going to become something like that. You need to get that problem solved. So he kind of misses out on that part of things. And I think that's more because of the American mentality. The American system has a pretty good social system that if you don't have money, you're newly new mother, things like that. The US system has a pretty good welfare program that takes care of your basic necessities, right? But countries like India or Africa, they don't have that. So you have to cater to all of those before you can achieve your goals. So I think that is the one part out of the book that does not match up with what we would have, say, in a country like India or Africa or things like that. So that was just one of the things that was circling around my head when I was going through that book.
Okay, thank you, Deepak, for that. So what he says is you have a lot of automation which helps you do it faster, but the basic ideas are same, right? So the one final question before we end this discussion is Gen Z. How relevant or how applicable or are they really using any of these success principles today, the Gen Z? What is your view, since you're dealing with so many new recruits? Yeah.
See, Gen Zs, I would say they're all born with silver spoon. For me, if I need, if I were to ask something, I need to definitely do something else to get it with my father, right? That's not the case now. They order, it will come and you'll have to pay. So that's why I said, that's one part of it. The other part is, anything and everything, you were looking up to your teacher earlier, unless and until they tell you, you cannot learn. But now, you don't need a teacher. One simple teacher, which is Google, is enough. And they will come back and tell you what you know, what you don't know, what you should do. So having said that, information is power. Data is power going forward. We have an artificial intelligence tool as well, which can predict and tell you, if you were to input 160 pointers, whether a candidate is going to take your offer or not. This we've developed about 4 years back, and it is really learning. The machine learns learning over a period of time. But whereas, if you look at the actual problem, 40 to 45% is the attrition, non-joiners. People take the offer and they don't join. So much of effort is getting wasted. So to curtail that, we have, created this artificial intelligence tool. And also the ecosystem is very, very important. If we were looking at these, if you're talking about, there are two people with golden spoon, and people who don't even have a spoon. And we are a research organization. So what we have done is, we have done a research on girl children who are studying in corporation school and government school. We have a trust called AVTAR Human Capital Trust. So we said, let's just do it and see what it's all about. Can anyone tell me what is the percentage of girls who pass out from these corporation school and government schools in India who get to see the college? How many percentage? Can anyone just tell me about a number? Any number?
30, 40.
I'll be delighted. I'll be dancing now if it is 30, 40.
5.
It's just 1%. It's just 1%. So just having this data is nothing. Data is available. Now we said, let's do something for them. So we have created a project called Project Putri. Anybody can be volunteer. Now we have 500 volunteers here. What we do is very simple. We go to all the schools, we sign up, then we conduct a training program for the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. 40 skills are trained in the next 5 years for them. And we are impacting about 7,000 children with knowledge, where these kids come to school just to have food, to use the bathroom. Third is education, on the order of priority. So we want to change this, and we've taken it as a mantle. There are so many corporates are helping us. So there are 2 divisions of Gen Z. I'm coming back to that point where now, if you were to interview them, if you were to just meet with them, recently we did a program where the US consulate was there, and this girl from one of the corporation school, she was interacting. She spoke, and then she was sitting, and then she came and and we were taking photographs, and obviously for press was taking photograph. Then this girl was asked by the US consulate, "So how are you?" She never responded. Putri, she never responded. She was waiting. No, if somebody asks, the consulate says, if somebody asks you a question, you need to answer. To our entire surprise, the way she responded, "Ma'am, I heard what you said, but I'll come to US, I'll meet you there." This was the response from a person who is studying in +2 in a government school. Because of the confidence that we give them, because of the environment that we create to them. With God's grace, we were able to provide 74 students scholarship through our corporates and through AVTAR this year. And we want to do it for the entire 7,000. Now the entire ecosystem has to help us achieve it so that we'll have a lot of Putris. Why I'm coming back to again to women is because India needs to be a developed country. My grandfather told my father, India is a developing country. My father told me, we are a developing country. I'm also saying the same thing to my son. India is a developing country. Before I sign off from this world, I want to see, at least in the next a decade, India should be a developed country. And this can happen only, this is our own in entire AVTAR groups, because this is the vision of Dr. Soundarya Rajesh. She's our founder, and her vision for the entire India, it's not for just one Putri. So these Gen Zs are the girls who are going to really take India to the next level, and our aim is all these girls should pay taxes to the exchequer. That is when our goal, I might think of retirement then. Yeah, so coming back to quickly, I'll just take a minute. Gen Zs currently, they are outstanding. The way they think, the way they challenge you. Please have, if you're recruiting somebody, please recruit somebody who's smarter than you. Then only you will grow. You will learn from them. I learn a lot from my son. From both of my sons. I learn a lot from them. They challenge you. It's tough, huh? It's not easy. But that is not the case. So we have to move on in life. Learn from your entire folks. There are simple, take Jack's book and ask them to read. Then they will come back and they will follow the process. Following process is tough for most of us. But when you go to any of our foreign location, you will be in line. Buy a ticket, you will have to stand in line. But here, that is the only missing point. This is very deep what I'm communicating to all of us. Are we following the process? If you follow the process, if you're persistent, you will achieve your goal. And this is the simple success mantra, whatever you do. Thank you.
Well done, Uma. Your take on Gen Z.
Beautifully said. Absolutely beautifully said. Now I know where I've heard AVTAR. So I've met Soundarya Rajesh. Our club had given her an award. So now it's like, try to put my thing on, see, figure out where I heard it. But, you're absolutely correct. How many of you are Gen Zs here? I'm looking at that crowd and that crowd. So I know, you can lift your hand up all the way up.
Define Gen Z.
By mind or by age?
Let's start with age. How many of you lift, come all the way up. Lift all the way up. There you go. So you got quite a few. There you go, good. So I'm gonna solicit, sorry, moderator, I'm gonna solicit. What do you guys think? Do you guys think you're born with a silver spoon? Do you guys think it's much harder than how the millennials or the baby boomers and the rest of us, Gen X, have experienced? What do you guys think? I want to hear any of you stand up and talk. I want to hear your opinion. Anyone wants to? The bold ones. Yeah, go ahead. When you come up so you can use the mic. You can. Ah. Oh, there is a Q&A? Okay.
Good evening. Good evening, sir. So I kind of disagree with this statement because I feel like nowadays with the growth of information technology or with the growth of internet, there's a lot of opportunity for everybody to be successful. You don't have to start a company to be successful. You can have a YouTube channel and you can have like 1,000 subscribers and you can post every day and you can be successful. So success isn't measured by what it was measured like 20, 30 years ago. So it gives us more competition, I guess. So every third person I meet is successful in their own way. So I don't think we're born with a silver spoon. We're struggling so hard for it every day. It doesn't matter what our financial background is. It is all about what we do and what are we going to do. That's what I think, sir.
What's your name?
I'm Ranalini.
Manali, great. I like it. Do you want to respond or?
No, I'm good. I don't want to be the bad
So
person here.
it's basically when I say you're born with silver spoon, I'm comparing with the earlier generation, with Gen X, with Gen Ys, and Gen Zs. Gen Zs are born with silver spoon because the data is in front of you. For us, Gen X, right? So we have to wait and unless somebody says, do we know? Or we go all the way to the library to fetch information. It's pretty tough. It's hard for us to even get knowledge. That's when I said data is given in front of you. Just a click of a button, you know what's going to happen. Manalini, that's what I refer to. Not in terms of financial. Financial success is totally dependent on your efforts and your intention. It's not outside. You need to think, if I want to make 1,000 crore or 100,000 crore or 1 crore or 1 lakh or 1,000 rupees. It's up to you. Success is different. Financial success is totally dependent upon you, what you want to do. Hope I made it clear.
Yeah, Uma, actually it's not silver spoon, it's silver phone. Either iPhone or Android phone. Okay, so
I'm going to add one more point to that. You know, the thing, Mrinalini, you brought it up very beautifully and you actually expanded on what Umasanker had said. You're absolutely correct. See, the thing is, information is all there, right? But we also have WhatsApp University. And you know how efficient and how accurate WhatsApp University is. So I think this book, again, I'm just going back to this book for a second. The book, again, right, allows you to really figure out, you know, which aspects make sense and which aspects does not make sense, right? And as you rightly pointed out, it's no longer about financial success. Because everybody has now some sort of a baseline that you can live off of. And eventually you can be successful, right? Since you have that, it's really being able to evaluate all the information that is out there, right? It's, you know, if you just keep it very simple and you say garbage in, garbage out, right? But it cannot, garbage in comes in with WhatsApp University, but it cannot be garbage out. I'm just going to give you 2 examples to wrap this up. I know he's like staring at me and like, stop talking. You can't be talking forever. It's like, but I'm going to give you a couple of, you know, Ramprasad's daughter, Ananya, is a fantastic example of a Gen Z, right? She went through Vidya Mandir. You know, anyone from Vidya Mandir? No? Okay. She went through Vidya Mandir, you know, went through college, you know, like perfect student. But she always had a goal. And I'm talking like, you know, over 10 years ago when she was like still in, you know, like middle school, she had a goal. She wanted to act, right? What she did, she followed her path right through. Right from that time, she was considering, you know, how do I take acting lessons? How do I convince my dad that I got to do? My mom, who's absolutely abhors the idea of acting, how do I get her to convince her? You know, she's been working on that. She has a goal. That's what Cranfield is talking about, right? I can take my daughter as an example. My daughter's 15 years old. And ever since COVID started, she wanted to have the ability to talk to people, right? And the thing is, because we are Americans and, you know, we live here and we keep traveling a lot, she ends up meeting a lot of international personalities. So what was the way that she could communicate with them? She picked podcasting. So for the last 2 years, or last year and a half, she's been, you know, doing podcasts. She's been, interviewing kids from all across the world, South Africa, US, Japan. She just got a kid from Ukraine that performed with Rolling Stones. She's putting that out tonight, she told me. And, you know, the thing is, How did she get access to that, right? She researched, she came up with, hey, this is the one that makes sense. It's a social thing because now I get people that wouldn't otherwise be talking, get to talk on a world stage. And, I get to make friends. I get to, communicate with all of them. So the Gen Zs have too much information. They have a challenge of being able to, like as he said, it's not just financial success. It has to be something that you're happy with. And, narrow it down and say, this is what it is. I'm happy to say my daughter, her podcast is ranked number 2 for teenagers in the world. So I think, that's the thing that we want. That's the thing that we want from the Gen Zs to think about. A book like this is something that will give them that ability to, take out that WhatsApp university and put the real information in and figure out what your future is.
Fantastic.
Just to add one point to what Deepak said, to all the Gen Zs, it's very simple. Life is very simple. Don't complicate it. Whatever the input goes into your mind, that will be the output which comes out of your mouth. So be conscious of what I said. It's very simple but very effective. And don't be in an illusion, how many likes will I get? Then only I'll be happy. But for me, if I say a friend, I know a friend with full of life, flesh, blood and everything. That is my friend. But for Gen Zs, lakhs and lakhs of friends across continent, across the countries. Suddenly, everything will disappear if your internet is out. What will you do? So let's be practical. Internet will be there. We are growing and we're going to be developed a country very soon. But just make sure you are connected with people with internet and also personally, physically, mentally. That's my piece of advice. Because of some, silver lining, I should give you that. Thank you.
Okay, what he says is, don't be virtual, be real. All right? Okay, that was fantastic. Thanks, Deepak and Uma, for sharing your thoughts. And we have come to the end of our review. Now it's time for Q&A. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's thank all the distinguished panelists. Thank you so much, all three of you. So, as you said, we're just about close to our closing time. So, let's take maybe a couple of questions here. I'll request the audience to keep the questions short, and also maybe we can have sharp answers as well. So that we have about 372 people watching this online. So we have a few questions online as well. Let me see how many we can take in about 5 to 7 minutes. Anybody who wants to go for a question here? My team is there with a mic. Anybody? Right? Okay, you can make up your mind. Maybe you can come out with the first question. Meanwhile, there is one, Mr. Subhash from Pondicherry. He wants to know, does the book have anything to say about failures? How to overcome failures for being successful? Any one of you can take it.
Don't consider Subhash, right? Subhash, thanks for the question. Failure is the lesson for you to get into success. Again, look at the way you look at it, the way you look at the mirror, the way you look at the problem. Failing, do you think any of us sitting here have not faced it? The way you look at, if you're failing, then you should learn what you have learned because of that particular situation. Or again, going back to the events, how do you respond is the result. Change it and go back to it again, and definitely you will have a fabulous opportunity. Yes, there are a lot of examples in the book. You may want to pick it up and start reading it. Thank you.
Yeah, the book also covers how to overcome your fear, how to overcome your limiting beliefs in a very lucid way. So I know all of us have limiting beliefs and fear. Fear and doubt is the first barrier. So they have given examples. The book has the examples for that. And actually, it's okay to fail. It's just that in our school, we are told so much about failure, we are afraid of failure. It's okay to fail. But what is important is You learn from the failure, right?
Fail fast.
Fail fast. So many people, in fact, hesitate to decide, make a choice because of the fear of failure. It's okay to take a wrong decision, but it's not okay to take no decision. So always take a decision. Don't worry about right or wrong. It can be a wrong decision, but you can learn from it. But if you, for the just fear of failure, if you don't take any decision, you're going to find it difficult to succeed. Over to
Thank
Subhash.
you. Subhash, I think you've done it. So there's a question coming up here from the audience. May I have the mic, please? Tell us your name and then ask the question.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Purnima. So we have been speaking about success. So my question is whether is success is all about being happy or what we are doing about it, or a financial success? Because in the world, in today's world, we are focusing on financial success. So what is all about? Is whether doing what we love or the finance part?
Great.
Okay, I'm going to answer this. I'm a capitalist, okay? I know that happiness is very important, but let's put it this way. If you don't have money, you'll never be happy. So there has to be some amount of financial success. Now, if you're Gautam Adani's daughter, then yeah, you can have a few failures and you can success with a lot of social media, imprints. But no, I still believe that your successor will eventually have to lead to financial success. If it does not lead to financial success, you'll not be happy. I mean, think about it. If you have to worry about, putting food on the table tomorrow morning, if you have to worry about, oh my God, I can't buy those beautiful rockets for Diwali on Monday, right? Am I happy? I might have been very successful. I've done all the social causes. I've done all this stuff, but I haven't done this one, right? Doesn't matter. So financial must be taken into consideration. So this is kind of a view that most people will not take, but I had to do it.
Practical.
End of the day, Purnima, are you going to be happy? That is more important for me as a person. Whatever you do, as I said, fix what you want in life. Financially, mentally, socially. You fix what you want in life. Do not expect the entire world to come and tell you, only if you get a 50 lakh of job per annum, you are successful. No. If that is the case, all the professors who taught you, why are they teaching you? Out of passion. Do they look at the watch and say, no, it's 3 o'clock, I need to shut and I'm sorry. No, they don't do that. There are so many people who go all out and passionately. We have Dr. Abdul Kalam. There are so many people who pursued their passion and making sure they were successful. Dr. Abdul Kalam, do you think financially he was successful? Even now we are talking about him. Why? Because of selflessness. It's a choice that you take in your career. What you want to do. What you feel, it's a purpose of my life. I know what is my purpose of my life. I want to be happy. If I need to be happy, the entire surrounding needs to be happy. That is my takeaway from this book. Hope I've answered your question.
Okay, so if you have a purpose and passion, you don't need to worry about money and happiness. As simple as that. Yeah? Definite purpose and a passion for that. Thank you.
So I hope you got the answer. Anybody else going for a question here? Okay, we'll take the last one and we can keep it as short as possible. This is from Ms. Niranjana. She's sent the question from Madurai. She's saying, sir, success for each profession can be different. Politician can have a different parameter for success. A corporate person can have a different. A doctor can have a different parameter for success. An actor or a singer can have. So can you tell us 3 common principles in the book which are common for everybody?
See, first of all, again, each one will have their own success. It's not that if other person, if they achieve something, they are successful, you achieve something else, you're not successful. It's not like that. Each one, first thing, if you know what you want and you decide to achieve it and you achieve it, you're successful. Just to give an example, I want to be an actor. So I pursue acting and then I become an actor. So I'm successful as an actor. I want to build a house which is worth 1.5 crores by this time, and I keep building that house, and I complete building that house, and I'm successful. So nobody is going to compare you with anybody. So principle is, success means you decide what you want to do and you achieve it. You don't need to worry about a politician or an actor or anybody else, even your neighbor. So one of the things you never get to do is compare, because you are unique and you have your own goals. You set your goals. And it doesn't matter if somebody else is richer than you. It doesn't matter. He may be richer than you in terms of money. You may be richer than him in terms of happiness. So there is no comparison at all. First, stop comparing. You are unique. The only comparison you can do is what you are today and what you will be tomorrow. That's all I need to tell to Niranjana. So,
There was one thing in the book that did discuss it, kind of along the same lines of what you're today versus what you're tomorrow. The book specifically says your goals that you start off with when you're in kindergarten are not the same goals when you're in college versus when you're working, when you have kids, when you're retired, right? So your success factor keeps evolving. And some of these worksheets that are there in the book really talk about that, talks about, how you keep evolving your goals. And that's how you keep ensuring your successful and ensuring your happiness. And I think that's, again, an important piece of it. Financial success is still important.
Yeah, you can actually get into the website of jackcanfield.com, where you can download all the worksheets and you can start working on it. Just one thing, Niranjana, it's about what you want in life. Do not compare us. As Ram said, you're unique, so just go all out. Best of luck, do well, God bless.
Thank you. So I think that brings us to the close of this evening's event here. But I must tell you, all three panelists here today are really successful people. You know why? Not for what they've achieved in their lives, but they've successfully completed this book, reading this book in about 20 days. 550 pages book. So let's give them a big round of applause.
thank you.
The size of the book itself can be a deterrent, actually. It's really courageous that they picked up this book with 550 pages to discuss this today, and they've successfully done it. And I'm sure, yeah, please.
Both of them very courageous. They bought the book and I just kept the book in my car itself.
So great.
Just to demonstrate that we have read the book.
So here you have a lot of people who have come. Thank you so much. And there are so many of them who have joined us online from different parts of the country and maybe different parts of the globe. Thank you for joining us this evening. A fabulous evening. I think there have been a lot of takeaways for us from this book. I was telling these youngsters today, this evening, when they came here, I said, see, good that you all came here, because I said, this book, if you have to take it and read it, I said, at least it'll take you 1 month. And in 1 hour, you're going to get the essence of the book. I was just discussing with them. So I think it's a good practice. I've seen so many students being here today. A lot of takeaways, even for others. So with this, all that remains for us is to thank these three gentlemen who are here today. And since we know today that they are very, very interested in reading books of this size, at least let them let's give them a book of a lesser size as a token of memento from here. So please come. Ladies and gentlemen, they deserve a big round of applause. Thank you so much.
Photograph.
So thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this evening. Until we meet again, there's an event tomorrow. Many of you have registered. So let's meet once again tomorrow at the IIT Research Park Auditorium at the MMA Kevin Care Chinikrishnan Innovation Award. Until then, goodbye. Back home, safe. Bye. Good night.
Okay, wish you all a very happy Diwali. Enjoy it safe.
Lovely. Happy Diwali to all of you. Enjoy. Thank you.